Welcome back to our channel, guys. I know say not be news again. Now this Baba Falana and very dark man Bobrisky Correctional Center and the EFCC matter not be news again. It don't dey down since all those days. Baba no come, but Baba don't finally come out now for channel television. Can't explain himself. But some people say they are discussing. Say that kind of question or answer they come from a whole Baba Falana mouth. Well, the man no need to come and lie on the television, so the man need to talk the truth. One thing in this life be say, if your hand no draw you come out, your tongue will go draw you come out, or your leg. That is why when we dey small, our papa then they tell us say, no drug my leg come out, no bring my body come out for outside, make people for see me. You understand? Everybody make you waka jejeje. This one now fast the bad guy draw his papa come out on social media. You understand? But number one thing be say, if you say you dey follow us dey fight corruption, you have to keep your hands clean. You understand? When Peter Obi dey do campaign this last 2023 presidential election, in the talk am say, if the leaders and their families say their hand no dey corruption, which means you reduce it by 50%. You understand? So this one now they follow us. We don't know who be who. Whether they can't deceive us, can't go back, go do another thing. If they even tell us, me particularly, say Baba Falana, if he put in hand for this kind of thing, the kind of respect when I get for the man, not even his son. No matter what, the kind of person when you be SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, your son bring that kind of matter, you go tell and say, Ogbeni, balance. Go and look for something else to say. That does not mean say you no go help person or that person request for help. You get, you no fit help. But you go look, say, who I be? I no go fit put hand for this kind of thing. So as you come for channel television now, I know Sheun Akimbaloye of channel television. Sheun go ask you question. Your conscience go shake. So Sheun ask a lot of questions. Baba self give back answer when he get. But the people they talk, people they comment, put say, they are disappointed, say those kind answer will come out from Baba mouth. But for me, Baba no need to lie. Everything don't come out for air. Everybody don't hear. So Baba need to talk as he be. At least to preserve some reputations. You understand? Now your son, now him draw your leg come out. Guys, I don't know what you think. Just watch the video. As you watch, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like, share, so that others will still see this video. Happy weekend, guys. Remain blessed. Thank you. I go see you for that video.
Man has written to find out if the federal government is not coming out to tell the truth or tell us exactly what is going on. What about the private sector? Those companies and the contractors who are involved in rehabilitation. Some of them have responded to say, we are not part of it. The other has responded. But let's get to here. Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, is live for us. He's a man who wrote the letter and he's been getting response. But all of this effort is for us to be able to know what exactly is the status of these the refineries and when will it come on stream. Mr. Femi Falana, it's good to see you. Thank you so much indeed for joining us. Mr. Falana, just before you get, this is the first time some of us are seeing you in public after that very controversial story involving VDM and Bobrisky. What exactly is your own side of the story in this matter?
Well, Sean, I think it's a question of infantile radicalism. Some of our young people are just not prepared to look at the provisions of the law with respect to the law on defamation. So they just simply go out there to embarrass people. I can say this without any fear of contradiction. I have assisted 280 people, convicted people, at home and abroad, to get pardon. On one occasion, 200 Nigerians were convicted in Libya for drug-related offenses. But because the trials were conducted in Arabic, and none of them spoke Arabic, I petitioned the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. That commission, at our instance, I did a petition on behalf of SERAP. At our instance, the commission issued a provisional order, like an injunction, restraining the government of Libya from executing the Nigerians. I think Abike Dabiri was then the chair of the Diaspora Committee of the House of Reps. That committee had appealed to the federal government in vain. But based on our intervention, the court issued an order, and we wrote to, 2 months later, President Gaddafi, the late Muammar Gaddafi, became the chair of the African Union. And we took advantage of that to write to him and appeal to him to pardon this Nigeria by complying with the judgment of the African Commission. And that if you do not, you will be showing a bad example as the leader of the continent, as the chair of the African Union. President Gaddafi granted our request and granted pardon to the 200 convicted Nigerians on death row. They were deported and brought back to Nigeria. On another occasion, and this was 2015, we appealed to General Muhammadu Buhari, 70 soldiers and a general who was demoted to the rank of a colonel had fought the terrorists, but they didn't have adequate equipment. Mr. President, since you set up a presidential arms procurement panel which had confirmed those who looted the huge sums, over $2 billion, earmarked for procurement of arms, please, can you grant pardon to these guys who were illegally convicted and sentenced? The 70 soldiers were sentenced to death. General Eniton Ransom Kuti was demoted to the rank of a colonel and also jailed for 6 months. We got the Army Council to quash his conviction for 6 months, and we now appeal to President Buhari to pardon him. Happily, his rank has since been restored. He has retired now as a brigadier general, while we are pursuing the demand for payment of the rights, the entitlement, outstanding salaries and allowances of the 70 soldiers. So I can go on and on. You recall in 1991, 12 young people under 17 were illegally sentenced to death, convicted of armed robbery, and sentenced to death in Lagos by an armed robbery tribunal. Again, we stopped there. We rushed to the court to stop their execution. And when a civilian government came on board in 1992, we appealed to you, the late Chief Michael Detodola, as the governor of Lagos State, to pardon these young people. They were pardoned. And so we already have a list of about 280 people. On no occasion, in none of these cases, has our law firm demanded for or received a dime, a kobo, from anybody who has been granted pardon.
Mr. Falana,
I was flabbergasted.
Yeah. So there are those who will say, did Bobrisky actually reached out to you? Did Bobrisky speak or directly or indirectly to you? If that is the case or not the case, what are you doing? You've written a letter seeking a retraction of it. But what are you doing to establish your innocence in what has been an allegation on this matter?
No, Sheung. Bobrisky never spoke to me. I have never met him. I do not know him from Adam. He was alleged to have spoken to my son, Falani Fars. Yes, my son said this guy was appealing to people for assistance and called my son, I think on May 4 thereabout this year. Please, can you give me 3 million naira to be placed in a special part of the prison. We call it the VIP section. And my son asking, are you calling me under the authorization of the superintendent of prisons? He said, no, please, don't call me again. I'm unable to assist you to bribe the prison authorities. And be very careful, since you're already in jail for an offense. Please, if you are going to come in next time, you either do it through the superintendent or you write a letter endorsed by the prison authorities. And that was the last. Somebody now said he listened to a tape somewhere and went out to lampoon and rather defame me by saying the guy had spoken to me. Of course, we are going to examine the call logs. And my son has also said, this was the guy who originated a call to me. My son has never negotiated fees on behalf of anybody. On the contrary, my 3 children normally refer people who need assistance to me, and not those. In fact, my wife was asking our kids recently, why are you always sending people who are not able to pay our fees? Next time we are going to be charging you. So this is the position. Now what I'm going to do, I have resisted the temptation to file a criminal complaint because I'm leading a team of lawyers in West Africa campaigning for decriminalization of freedom of expression. We have succeeded. This campaign is being coordinated by the Media Foundation for West Africa, of which I'm a member of the board. We have succeeded in getting Liberia, Ghana, and Sierra Leone to decriminalize freedom of expression. We are still appealing to other countries in the region to ensure that we respect freedom of expression. But that is not a license for defaming people, for blackmailing people. Once, and what we are saying, if you are defamed, in the words of the late Justice Olatawura, in the case of Otawankwo and the state, if you are defamed by anybody, please go out there and sue for libel, where you put your own character in issue. In this case, we are not going to file a criminal complaint. We will not be pushed to do that. I'm currently defending a couple of journalists who are standing trial either under the Cyber Crimes Act or under criminal libel. But what we are going to do is to embark on civil proceedings with a view to restoring our integrity, my own name and that of my son, so that nobody will simply rush to the social media to defend any Nigerian. We want to make an example. In this case, we have asked for a retraction and an apology rendered to us. And that is not too much. And if we don't have a retraction, an apology acceptable to us, accepted by us, we are certainly going to initiate civil proceedings in the High Court.
Yeah, Mr. Falano, because this is actually not, I'm saying for the sake of the public who have not seen or heard from you in this matter, who have the benefit of hearing your own side of the story. And that's why I brought it up. But I know how painful this could be, especially if you have built a reputation over the years. Now, the question here. The question, quickly, Mr. Falano, because of the main subject for which I invited you. I'd like you to touch on the fundamentals aside the defamation or the libelous angle to this matter. Is the alleged corruption involved in our correctional service or with the EFCC about the withdrawal of a money laundering case dependent on a possible inducement? Just in about 60 seconds, Mr. Falano, so that we can get to the substantive matter for which we are here. I'm a former inmate of the correctional centers in the country.
I also do prison work. I've exposed the rot in the prisons more than any Nigerian. On one occasion, I did the report revealed that between 2005 and 2006, and I have a government report to this effect, that 197 people convicted of drug trafficking in the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, convicted and sentenced to prison terms without any option of fine, never made it to any prison in Nigeria. Never. When I petitioned the authorities, I think they declared them wanted. Only one was found. The rest went back to the trade. I'm still pursuing this matter. Secondly, everybody who has been to the prison, either as an inmate, an awaiting trial person, or a convict, knows that in every correctional center in Nigeria, there is a VIP section. It is called the White House. It's for big people. It's for big men and women. If you are a man of means or a woman of means, and you are detained in our prisons or correctional centers, you are going to be accommodated in the VIP section in the White House. So I'm rather surprised that the House of Reps was pretending not to know this, that a panel is being set up to know the state of our correctional center. But the Correctional Services Act of 2019 has made adequate provisions for checking the excesses of prison officials. I've just done a letter to the Honorable Minister of Interior, who is doing a marvelous job in that Ministry of Interior. I wrote to him a couple of weeks ago, Honorable Minister, by virtue of Section 21 of the Correctional Services Act, there shall be prison visitors. Visitors to go to visit our correctional centers on a regular basis and write reports, recommend what the government should do to address problems in our correctional center. And the minister has called me to assure me that the appointments will be carried out as soon as possible. So for me, if we have prison visitors going to the correctional centers on a regular basis, independent people, public officers, judges, members of the National and Secretary Body of the Nigerian Bar Association, as provided by the law, if they carry out their statutory duties, our country will not be exposed from time to time with respect to the management of correctional center. Nigeria has the lowest number of convicts in the world, having regards to our population, because the correctional center are now reserved for the wretched of the earth, the poor, the underprivileged, or the masses of our people. A big man or a big woman does not stay. I mean, it's difficult to ask a big man to go to the prison, even when they are child. Even when a former governor, a former minister is charged with diverting billions of naira, you simply ask him to go to a correctional center for 2 days, awaiting the arguments on application for bail. So that's what is going on. It's only the poor that are railroaded to jail in Nigeria.
Let me take you to, I wish we had more time, but unfortunately, the substantive matter for which we invited you tonight. I saw a letter which you wrote to one to SIPEM and the other to Mary Techmont SPA. These are private entities which you wrote to in respect of the Port Harcourt refinery that is being touted to be rehabilitated with $1.5 billion US. Now the question here is, We've been told severally, we've been given several dates for the completion of the rehabilitation of this refinery. But it does look like the more we look, the less we see. What did you find? Because in the letter, Saipem is telling you that, Mr. Falana, we do not know anything about it. In fact, don't mention us again. Mer and Techmob are saying that on behalf of the lawyers wrote on behalf of the company. But where does this letter leave us? What do we know? What is the federal government saying?
Well, after the NNPC Limited had postponed the commission of the rehabilitated Port Harcourt refineries, I decided to get to the root of the matter. My organization, ASCAP, Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond, mandated me to write to the two Italian contracting firms that got these contracts. In April 2021, the Federal Executive Council approved the award of the contract for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery to Meyer Technimont SPA to fix the two refineries for the sum of $1.5 billion. And the duration of the contract was 33 months. With respect to Saipem Contracting Nigeria Limited, again, it was announced sometime in August 2021 that that company has been awarded the contract to fix Warri and Kaduna refineries, again, for the sum of $1.4 billion. And the duration period was fixed for 33 months. The period is over, or the periods are over, the contract periods. So, a case of breach of both contracts has been established. Happily, both companies have sent me very revealing information with respect to the Port Harcourt refineries. My Technimont, through his lawyers, wrote to me last week, please give us more time. By the 2nd of October, we shall react to your request. On the 2nd of October, that company, through its lawyers, reacted to my request, declining to furnish me with information on the completion date of the rehabilitation of the two refineries, on the ground that it is a private company, and so it is not bound by the provisions of the Freedom of Information Act. With profound respect to all the lawyers and their clients, the Court of Appeal has decided that if you are a private company and public funds are entrusted to you, you are bound by the provisions of the Act. So we are going to take up that elsewhere. Of course, we are going to take it up in the court. With respect to the more embarrassing situation, in fact, where Saipem is even threatening to sue me, as it were, for causing reputational harm by alleging that this contract was awarded to them to fix the Warri and Kaduna refineries. My colleagues, the law firm of Ajimogobia and Okeke, has also written to me that whereas our client had told you that these contracts were not awarded to them, why are you still demanding for information on the completion date of the contracts? And I have replied to the fact that this announcement was made by the Federal Executive Council In 2021, August, after 3 years, you have just denied. To me, you have never denied the fact that these contracts were awarded to you. And shown up till now, the Federal Executive Council has now revoked the contracts and awarded them to another company. So our country has to get to the root of what can be said to be a case of monumental corruption. We are talking of $2.9 billion for a country that is said to be broke. We must now escalate this matter by inviting the relevant anti-corruption agency to assist the country to trace these funds.
So, Mr. Falano, on one hand is the trust that the Nigerian people have in its government when they make a promise of a particular project that directly impacts on their lives. So when the government continues to give a date, agreed that the contractor may be having some technical problem leading to the extension of the date. But are there explanations being made to the Nigerian people? Is the government taking the Nigerian people for granted? No. These are critical questions that needs to be also asked. Yes, on one hand, the private sector, the contractor getting the job, but what about the government and the trust in the Nigerian people, in accountability and the responsibility to the Nigerian people?
Now, again, the government has not been properly advised. What we used to know in this country is that if the government awarded a contract to a company, the government will simply summon the contractors to justify a delay in the execution of the contract. So it is not the place of the NNPC Limited or the federal government to announce when the refineries are going to be fully rehabilitated. The duty of the government is to summon the contractors to justify why a breach has occurred. And if a satisfactory explanation is not provided, the government will look at what the agreement says with respect to either going to court or usually an arbitration panel. In this case, I'm alleging fraud, and the government has a duty to the Nigerian people to indict any contracting firm that has messed up the country with respect to the repairs of the refinery. If Saipen is saying, to the colossal embarrassment of the government, you never awarded these contracts to us, you are deceiving the Nigerian people by saying these contracts were awarded to us. So we're going to ask the Federal Executive Council, you approved the award of this contract in 2021. The company that you approved the contract for now says, we know nothing about this contract. It's a very, very serious embarrassment for any modern state. All right. The one of Port Harcourt has become a huge embarrassment. Even last December, the president announced that those two refineries will resume production, a business. And that was the information given to the president. I expect by now that those who embarrassed the president to that extent to have been fired.
All right, Mr. Falano. Yeah.
And that has to be done now.
Yeah. Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Femi Falano, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, in a saying